Hey guys, Mike with Gettin Greasy Garage, and today I just want to talk about starters. So, I've done a couple of videos about my son's 96 S10 and some of the issues we've had with it. And, well, these are starters for that 96 S10 with 2.24 cylinder. Ever since... Okay, so let me jump back. About 14 months ago, starter went out, and it was neither one of these. So he, through an old man he works for, the old boy bought him a starter so that he could get him to work, get himself to work to do yard work for the guy. Anyway, so they went to O'Reilly's and bought this one, and it's not the brand new expensive one. It's one of the remans. And, well, here it is 14 months later. This one goes bad. Solenoid totally went out. No clicking, no nothing. Or, at least that's when I thought it, initially it was bad solenoid. Went ahead and pulled it out. I pulled solenoid off, tested it. It is bad. But, I don't know. Well, you can kind of see the sparkles there. This thing had all kinds of metal dust in here, and this thing has not been grinding the flywheel or anything like that. I went ahead and took it apart and tested the motor separately. The motor does work, but, and that's kind of what this video is about, is how cheap this motor is made. All the bushing here and the bushing here are plastic. There's a plastic shim that shims the stator or main shaft of the motor. I just was blown away. The brushes are some kind of material. I don't even know. They're not metal, and they're not copper. I don't even know what they're made of. Everything about it. The windings were really small in this. It was just very cheaply made. And I don't know where this came from. I highly doubt this. This is a remanufactured GM starter. Sorry about that. I was blown away at, the price of these things. And yeah, this is a used one, but at one point it was new in a box. And I was blown away at how poorly these things are made. No wonder they last till they're just out of warranty, and then they crap out, and you gotta buy another one. For this thing was like $150 last year. Why are these things not made to better standards? I remember years ago reading that starters were designed to work for 25,000 starts. And that's a lot. That's a long period of time. I don't know how many that would be over a year. Somebody could do the math if they wanted to, but in a year, for 14 months, that truck has been down with other problems, so I know it wasn't started 25,000 times. These things are just poorly made, and, the auto parts stores, and it's not just O'Reilly's, it's all of them are selling these cheaper lines and getting away with it. And, of course, what do you do? Something melted out of the solenoid right here. It looks like solder of some sort. It's just, the Bendix arm here has plastic pieces on it, or nylon or whatever. Just really not enthused with the quality. And the fact that it lasts till it's just out of warranty and then dies. And a 19-year-old kid who, does odd jobs and works when he can, he has to run out and buy another one. And, fortunately, he's able to put it in himself, but if a young kid had to take this to a repair shop, what would that cost? The markup on the starter, and then the repair bill, and these particular trucks are kind of a pain in the butt to put a starter in, so you're looking at least 1 hour of labor. So, anyway, this starter came out of another 96 S10 that we purchased for parts. It was a parts truck. In fact, The transmission and the engine that's in my son's truck came out of the same truck that this starter came from. We didn't know the history of the starter at the time and everything else, so we didn't use this one. So this went on the shelf as a spare. And this one, and yeah, it's rusty. It's been sitting around for probably 10 years since the engine went in that truck. But this one, actually, this one weighs probably easily 5 pounds more than this one. I took this one apart because after testing it, it just made a kind of a dry moaning sound, like dry bushings, you know, here and back here. And I got it apart, and yeah, there was a little bit of rust on the windings. I cleaned everything up and lubed everything. All the bushings here, this isn't even a bushing, it's a roller bearing. And same here is a roller bearing. The shim that spaces the armature is copper. And the other thing was, in here, the brushes were actually copper brushes. All the wires were thicker. The windings in this whole thing were bigger. It's just a way better unit. And I know that this is a factory GM starter. And you cannot tell me that to manufacture something better like this can cost that much more than this garbage. I don't even think you could buy a starter now of this quality. Even AC Delco, who for years was my go-to for starters because they worked so well and lasted so long, their quality has gone to shit like everybody else's. So, anyway, yeah, we're sticking this one back in it and should get him by for who knows how long. But pretty disappointed in these remans units. I don't know who's doing it, where it's being done, but it's garbage. They're replacing good brush plates and good bearings with plastic bushings, and it's all about, you know, make these things only last the minimum amount of time so they can get you to buy a new one. When do these companies start putting out a quality product? You know, it just happened that we had this thing on the bench, and I always save starters, even if they're not good, I save them for parts. And I'm just finding more and more lately that I'm having to take 2 starters and make one good one out of them to have something decent that doesn't cost $250. That's junk. I started as a kid rebuilding starters and alternators for my dad, for his friends. And, you know, you'd take them apart, you'd test everything, you'd replace a few parts. And these things ran forever. So, I don't know. It's just kind of a frustration of mine. And I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. So, leave down in the comments some of your experiences with these going to the parts store and buying one of their starters compared to the older stuff. I'm sure everybody feels the same way about it I do. But anyway, guys, enough out of me on this. It's kind of a rant, but, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All that stuff's free. Doesn't cost you a penny. It really helps out the channel. And, got some other videos coming up on a project I'm involved with that front cover. So, anyway, guys, enough out of me. Stay greasy, my friends.